welcome back to the Mono Head to Head podcast. It's your boy O. And my dog Mo over there chilling. You know what I'm saying? Here for episode 5. You know, today's guest is Satrina Olivieri. That's my sister, man. Blood sister, same pops. You know what I'm saying? She could have talked about her athletic background. She was a D1 thrower at UCF and then later on transferred to Western Kentucky. So she could have kind of give us, you know, the rundown how it was to be a female athlete and how that contrasted to be, you know, the male athletes on the team. So we're gonna have a good conversation today. We're gonna talk about commitment into sports and life, and also its purpose in sports and life. So it's gonna be some good conversation today. All right. So we got my sister Trina here, man. You know, Trina, say what's up to the people.
What's up? What's up?
So check it out, Trina. You know, we want to hear your background real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let the people know about you. You know, where you from. You know, how your life was growing up, and then we'll go from there.
I'm from Orlando, Florida, but I was raised in Fort Myers and Orlando. It was a mix. I went to every grade school in both counties, Lee County and Orange County. So, I kind of like switched back and forth because my mom moved around a lot or whatever, and lived in different places, lived with some of my family members sometimes, lived with my dad, lived with my mom, or whatever, and kind of like grew up. Like when I was young, I really just didn't do anything, but once I got to like middle school and high school, I kind of started choosing my own path in life, and I started playing like different sports. I played a bunch of them. I had my freshman year in high school, I was in Orlando at Evans High School, and I got 7 varsity letters. Like, impossible to do, but possible. But I got 7 varsity letters my freshman year in high school because I was just competitive. I wanted to do something. Like, anyways, my favorite 2 sports growing up would have been soccer and track and field. I don't know why I like outdoor sports because I hate being hot. But those are my favorite. But I played volleyball, basketball, tennis. I did everything. Only thing that I will not, anything doing with hand and bat and hand and stick or any of that, I don't touch that because that's not my type of sports. But anyways, I kind of like grew up, and like I said, I moved back and forth. So I played high school sports in Orlando, and I played high school sports in Fort Myers, which in Orlando I went to Evans High School, and like track and field kind of just came easy to me. I was a thrower. I did shot put and disc, and I don't know. It just like literally just came to me. I went to district every year, made it to regionals every year that I was in high school. I didn't start making it to states until my sophomore year. But every year before that, I made it like kind of high. But after that, I started making it to states in top three, or top 1, top 2, you know. Got pretty good at it or whatever. And eventually I kind of actually really caught a drift of the sport. You know, like I met a couple of professionals. And when I met those professionals, it was like crazy. Because they would tell me like little stuff. They'll say, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to snap here, you need to do that. And I would try it, and it don't work at first, obviously. You know, you can't catch on to stuff the first time you do it. But I'll wait probably like a couple months, try that jump again, catch on to it, PR, quick. So it was like, sorry, I got my little children over here. But yeah, so anyways, it was my niche. I caught on to it, and it was wonderful. I mean, it went from me throwing like 110 feet in the disc to me throwing 145 within a day. So it wasn't like something, they wasn't telling me nothing bad. It's just I didn't get it. And I caught on to it, and they couldn't catch me after that. I started making films and stuff. Because, you know, like, I don't know, I went to 2 black high schools. So my coaches, they wasn't really, like, selling me. Like, I had a coach who went to college and stuff like that. Look, you want to be seen? There you go. That's Mr. Mustard. But anyways, my coaches, like one of my coaches, he was pretty cool. The one in Orlando, like he went to Florida. He was a Gator or whatever. He did track. He was a 400 runner. So I feel like if I would have stayed there, I probably would have got more publicity. Like I would have been able to go, different places or whatever. But I ended up having to sell myself because I went to this little black hick school in Fort Myers. Not to call it hit, but went to this little black school in Fort Myers, and the teachers like they don't have no connections. They just teachers, They just like, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to do this, and like nothing I was taught at the high school in Fort Myers was anything that I needed to know to throw. So I ended up teaching myself, which is how I started out, by teaching myself. And it just, like I said, I caught on to it. Like people would tell me little stuff, like I would go on college visits and see professionals, and they'd be like, okay, boom, do this right here, and you will get 20 feet out of it. And they didn't lie to me, never.
So how was the recruiting process for you like?
Recruiting process was garbage. So terrible because, like I said, I was selling myself. It was garbage. I literally made my own. See, listen, email. Yeah. I had emails with my form on it. I was athlete of the year my senior year. Like I didn't get my scholarship until 2 weeks before it was time to go to school.
Whew.
Yes, yeah, that's tough, and it's bad because I was number 2 in the state of Florida, right? But I was real high up in the nation because the girl who beat me, she beat me by half an inch. So she was number 1, I'm number 2. Like she got her scholarship quick, but nobody was selling me. So I had to go sell myself. Wow. I got on my email, started sending out like basically portfolios of myself, videos of me throwing, like my newspaper article, like my stats and everything. Like I literally went and like tried to do some professional jump, which in reality, they don't teach you how to do that jump when you're in school. But you got to sell yourself. And at the end of the day, you literally have to sell yourself, because if you don't, you end up with the shit in or the stick it, if you want to say it like that. But I ended up getting about 3 schools to answer me back, which was Alabama State University, which I didn't want to go out of state of Florida. Like my dream school was University of Central Florida. And I actually ended up getting to go there because one of my teammates from Western, she had a scholarship to UCF, but she didn't have all the qualifications to go there. So because she didn't have all the qualifications, I got her scholarship. Crazy meeting her after I got her scholarship at UCF at Western Kentucky. Crazy. We was the only 2 throwers there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I ended up getting recruited. I went through all of my visits or whatever. I went to Alabama and Alabama State. I didn't go there. I went to Embry-Riddle. And then they was like, oh, we're an aeronautics school or whatever like that. And I'm like, aeronautics? Who's gonna fly a plane? Not me. So it was like, we'll give you this scholarship and you'll just end up having to pay $10,000 a year. Like, what school you go to in state that you got to pay $10,000 out of pocket after getting $50,000 in scholarships?
That's ridiculous.
So it's like totally ridiculous. It don't make no sense. So anyways, my the coach at UCF called me like a couple weeks. He was like, you want to come visit? I'm like, sure, because my dad lived in Orlando. I was like, I'll just stay with him and he'll bring me or whatever, and that's what happened. Like when I went to my visit or whatever, he brought me to the place or whatever. He walked around with me or whatever. And it was pretty cool because the school got some badass dorms, like considering I went to college in 2010. Like they have apartment style dorms on campus. And to top it off, like most traditional schools, you have to, most traditional schools, you can't bring your car your first year. But UCF, you can. So that was another thing for me. I was like, oh, I can bring my car? I had a car since I was in high school. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to this school. or whatever. So I ended up going to that school and visiting, walked around, fell in love with the dorm by itself because the one at Embry-Riddle, they was like, oh, it's, two to a dorm. You get a twin bed. I'm like, nah, bro. Y'all got a full-size bed in here. I get my own. All I got to do is shut a bathroom. I get my own sink, too. Because I don't like brushing my teeth in everybody's sink. That's just weird. Anyways, so the recruitment process, it was kind of quick for me. Like, it was like, and I just didn't understand, like, that it was more to it than what I actually seen. But I would do it over again. I love UCF. It was wonderful. And I used to threaten my coaches all the time. Like, you don't, listen, I don't have to be here. My daddy lived right near the road. But that was just me being rude.
I'm going to tell you one quick story I remember from when you was at UCF. When I first met y'all in, 2010? I know Pops used to brag about the UCF track coach, how bad she was, how she'd be staring them down and all that.
Yeah.
Pops used to be wilding, man.
Listen, that lady's a hot mess, but you know what? She coaches at USC. Not USC, what is it? What is that school? Yeah, isn't that the Burgundy and Gold School in Cali?
Southern California. Yeah.
She coaches at USC National Champions. Boom, as soon as she got there. So she bad. She real bad. That's a bad coach though. And literally, like, we had like the highest recruits on our team and stuff like that. Like, she made sure she got some good recruits or whatever. She was really bomb. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Shoot, that's good stuff right there, man. Shoot, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know UCF didn't have a boys team. Western Kentucky, when you transferred, how was it like? Did y'all get treated, lesser, or did y'all get treated better than the boys, or was it like kind of equal?
You know what? Let me be honest about Western Kentucky. Loved the school to death because it was a total different culture from UCF. Like, first of all, we did have a male team, so it kind of balanced out all that damn drama. It was a lot of drama because it was just nothing with girls. Like, we always was with girls. The only males we hung around with was football players. When we go on the track meets and stuff, we all around each other. So girls, they like to click up. I don't do that click stuff. So I was kind of the oddball out all the time. But when I went to Western, it was like a total different, it was just so, level. Because you got the males and the females, and we kind of balance each other out when it comes to the attitudes. Like, I might talk to these people or those people. But I ended up basically getting there, and I love that school to death. Now, I can say it was a little bit with the boys team, because the boys, they'll send the boys to California, and then we'll go to Tennessee. Tennessee 5 minutes away from down Kentucky. So it's okay, y'all sending them to California, y'all sending us to Tennessee. What's the reason? Because you can say that it's because they better. You can say, oh, it's because they boys. You can't say it because they better than us. It was only 2 girl throwers there when I first started there. And we cleared. When I tell you we cleared the Sun Belt Conference, we cleared that shit. It was 2 of us. Nobody was finna beat us, So it's what's y'all reason for not sending us? So it was kind of sketchy with the meets and stuff like that. And it's why wouldn't y'all send us to these meets? And it basically helps us be better, So it was kind of off a little bit there. And I mean, other than that, my coach, he was pretty good. He just was kind of laid back. He was when he recruited me, he was I got a 13-year-old daughter. If you need a babysitter, don't come to this school, because I ain't finna babysit you. And I won't be micromanaging you. You need to do your work. You need to go to weights. You need to go to practice. You need to do everything you need to do. And I ain't finna be chasing behind you. Ain't no curfew. Ain't no none of that. UCF? 10:30 curfew. She did not play with us. But it was a little wishy-washy with the boys and the girls.
So quick.
Yeah.
So
How do
you
you
got a question,
feel
Mo?
about the current push? Yeah. I got one. How do you feel about the current push for female sports now? Do you think social media plays a part in that?
I don't know. I really feel like female sports are underrated, to be honest. Like just saying because it's like I'm gonna pay LeBron 100 million, but I'm only gonna pay Lisa. I'm only what her name? Lisa Leslie, the basketball player. I'm only gonna pay her 50 million. You feel me? Now I can say in track and field, they're gonna pay you your worth. But in a lot of other sports, yeah, leave it on because you don't messed up the computer now. Yeah, in a lot of other sports, it does not correlate at all. It's like I'm doing the same thing that I'm dunking just like LeBron dunking. I'm doing this just like he doing, and you treating me like trash. And you got to think about the fact too that with college, at least they balance out the boy and the girl sports. Like they have to have so many boy and so many girl sports. It's like a rule for the NCAA. Otherwise, they get in trouble for it. So it's kind of like, that's one thing about college you can say. But when they go professional, they make their own rules.
True. The only thing I had to say about that, the only reason I believe there is like such a big salary gap is because of just exposure and merchandise sales.
Yeah, that's
literally
what it is.
that's all it is. And it blows my mind because like you just said, man, the WNBA, if you watch it, that junk is competitive. It's good. Like it's good.
You know
but
what?
the thing
Girls
is,
basketball is way more competitive because they don't do nothing that they're real aggressive. Like men, they're not aggressive like women are in basketball.
That's the same thing in soccer. Like women's soccer is way more aggressive than men's soccer, man. But yeah, it's just that's all it comes down to is just exposure. Yeah, soccer was my first love actually. Yeah, I'm a big Liverpool fan, But yeah, they that's what I think it boils down to. Now, I think social media playing a part into it now, cause we just seen it with the last people fighting. They're bringing to light.
They fighting for their rights.
Yeah, they're bringing to light how they're being. Yeah, they're bringing to light how they're being treated and everything.
Yeah, you have to. They can't.
Yeah, so I really believe that social media does play a part in it.
Hey, I got a quick question.
My last question for you. Go ahead. Oh, my bad.
Check it out.
You want me to say mine?
Check it out. That's just real quick about the NIL, right? So
NIL.
The NIL for female athletes, I think that's a low key, a big jump, right? Because being visible and all that type of stuff's always been tough for female athletes in their sports. But all these brands are like kind of catered to females now, especially like the sports brands, like the little what's a little fitness brand, like the little Shark brand and the Shark Fitness. You know what I'm talking about? They be in the gym,
Gymshark.
Yeah, Gymshark, stuff like that. They got so much stuff for females, and they start getting them little the little deals in college and start kind of marketing themselves, and then they translate that to their pro sport. Then shoot, like things could get big. So what's your opinion on that? The NIL and how that could affect female athletes?
No, I said I'm sorry. Cause DJ need to go with his daddy, and they finna go to his brother's house, to my brother's house, cause he ready to go. I know. But I mean, I don't really know how I feel about that. To be honest, I don't even have a say for that.
But check it out. How about this?
You
was a track star, right? You was trying to get into the Olympics, right? Imagine if you had a couple of sponsors that gave you a little cash on the side for you to kind of get you a trainer or something like that. You have money to afford a trainer, so you could like train and afford that training budget to get to the Olympics. How that would have been a game changer for you back then, but that the athletes have now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's great. Oh, dang.
I mean, I would definitely want that because I would want that type of person, but like those type of people behind me. But it all depends because there's so many rules like behind everything, you know? It's like I'm coming out of college and I want to go train and all that stuff. But say I decide, it's just like when you go into the draft for football, you can get somebody to pay for your trainer and all that stuff when you getting ready to go into the draft. But the moment you collect that money, like even though you didn't touch it, you just used it. It ruins your chances of like ever like trying like if you want to drop out of the draft and just go back to school, you know, and finish your years on the college team, like it ruins your chances. It's literally like so many rules behind all of this stuff. It's like you don't know what to do. It's like you sketchy about doing anything. So I would want that type of backup, but I would want to be sure that that's what I wanted. You know, I wouldn't want somebody like, oh yeah, I'll train you so you can go pro, but you got to give me back. You know, and I'd be like, okay, but dang, like they not explaining everything to you. They just trying to turn you into a cash cow.
Mario, you got your.
Go ahead, Mona. You had a question.
Nah, man, great minds think alike. That was the same one I had, man. Just gonna talk about the NIL deal. But so we're gonna jump into commitment, you know, your commitment as a student athlete. How would you say being a female student athlete, how is commitment way more than being a male student athlete, you know? You can speak about the commitment to the sport.
I mean, I kind of feel like the female athlete has more on their shoulders, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because as a former athlete, the female athletes are expected to have the grades and the athleticism. The male athletes, some of them come there for the grades, but some of them just come there for the athleticism, if you feel what I'm saying. So like, oh, my tutor finna do my work, straight up. That's just the end of it. You know, my tutor gonna do my work, and I'm just gonna go out here. As long as I'm good on the field, she got me, you know? And it's not like that for all of them, so I'm not being biased. Like, it's not like that for all of them, because there's some dumbass female athletes too. But I personally was one of those one that just kind of floated by. Like, let me just get a C in this class, I'll be all right. As long as I pass this class, I'm good. Let me get this degree in this class, you know? So that's what I did. I passed, I have a bachelor's degree, obviously. I actually had a grade point average high enough to get into a master's program. I started that, and it was just like, I don't like school. And that's another thing. It's like with a lot of athletes, it's either you like school or you like the sport. It's not never. Most of the time, it's never both. Like I could be good at school and hate it, but love the sport. So I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna finish college because I want to play this sport for 4 years, and I might go pro. No. I like kids.
Hey, this gonna be the rawest episode. I love it. No, bro, let it ride.
Yeah.
Nah. Hey, I know my jump been freezing though. Yeah, we gonna edit this out right here.
Yeah,
my jump been freezing. Bro, I don't know what's wrong with that mug, man. Jump pissing me off.
Yeah.
It keeps switching me off from the hotspot to the regular Wi-Fi. I don't know why.
I need my baby to go in the front of Lehigh.
Shit. Hey, let it ride. Fuck it.
They do a lot of editing.
His daddy?
Yeah.
Because I got to go to school.
Bro, let it ride, bro. Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm about to let it ride. So check it out. So we're commitment, right? Trina, you hit the nail on the head, right? Personally, I was the same exact way. I hate school. You know what I'm saying? I love playing the sport of football, but I hate school so damn much. But at the same time, you'll find yourself, if you love something so much, you know what I'm saying, you'll commit to, getting no grades. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You commit to academia just to play sports, like. Exactly. And I know from personal experience. I went through a period where I was academically ineligible to play sports. Blowed me. I was in study hall 17 hours a day.
Damn.
Literally, because I was like, I ain't gonna be in academia. I'm not gonna be in academic probation next semester. Because when track and field start, I ain't gonna be prepared to go. I ain't gonna be prepared to throw and all that stuff, but they gonna let me throw because my freshman year, I hit the podium my freshman year. So it's like, they're gonna put you in. They don't care if you ain't ready because they know that you got it in you. You know, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. That's commitment. So next time.
So I just kind of kept it going. It was what it was.
Yeah, Mo.
So next time we're gonna jump into purpose, you know. So a lot of people they struggle with like the purpose of what the purpose into like their sport and also like the purpose in their life. Could you just get us an insight on like how athletics play the purpose in your life?
You said that I was struggling what?
Let's talk about the purpose. So check it out. Basic purpose, right? We talk about purpose in life and then purpose in sports. So what was your purpose playing these sports? You know what I'm saying? And also,
I mean, I was trying to go pro. I ain't finna lie to you. I was going pro. When I graduated, I was number 36 in the nation in the discus. I mean the nation. I ain't talking about. No, I was number 36 in the nation, and literally everybody above me. You know, I had gotten to a height in I hadn't gotten into my profession at a height to where it was like if I threw an extra inch further, I was gonna jump 5 spaces. You know? So I was like, I was trying to go pro. I'm not gonna lie. I was even training, like when I graduated, I was training or whatever. I was gonna join the USATF because that's what you gotta do in order to go pro in the Olympics or whatever, like go to the Olympics and do professional throwing and stuff like that. But I ended up having a baby. Lord Jesus knows. He just was like, nah, I don't know if I want you to go professional. We're just gonna let you sit down somewhere. The beauties of being a woman, because men don't gotta go through that. That's another thing. But I love my son to death with his bad behind. And I mean, I feel like everything is put in your path for a reason. So I just went with it because I was like literally at the top of my fitness. Like everything, I had my body, I had my muscle tone. My body was like 15% fat. And I'm a big person. Like most girls are big people, you know? So I had 15% fat. I was down. I was like going in, throwing every day, like every day. So it was serious. I hadn't got serious about it.
That's real, man. Shoot. That was my purpose, man. Yeah. I'm trying to get to the league, get that check. You know, stuff ain't happening like that.
That's what it is.
We done lost her.
You lost her? Yeah, bro. Hey, so with this edit, we just gonna use your questions. Cause she can't hear me. Hey, this one just gonna be raw.
My bad. I got a lot of stuff going on in life.
Yeah. You good?
I got a whole life. You know, I go to school. You know, I'm in nursing school, bro. But
yeah,
I got to go to school in the morning. I have to be there at 6 o'clock. It's hard for me to drop DJ off to school because he don't have to be there at 7:55. I drop my babies off to my cousin's house for her to take them to daycare because I have a whole degree that I'm using, paid decent money, but I always wanted to be a nurse. Even when I first went to college, but I couldn't because clinicals and track and field, they don't mix. You can't be an athlete and be a nurse at the same time.
Check it out, Trina. So let's talk about this, right? So, you know, you time as an athlete, you know, you had a crazy schedule, morning ways, meetings and all that stuff. Now you a mom, 3 kids, doing nursing school. How's it like? How's that, time in college, with that crazy schedule help you now in life with your time, with your kid, balances,
Let me tell
work and
you,
school?
my life is not normal unless it's hectic. Let me put it like that. Because when I was in college, I go to weightlifting at 5 a.m., go to class at 8 a.m., go to next class at 11, go to practice at 12, go to this class at 8 o'clock at night, go home, eat, go to sleep, get up next day, do it again. But I ain't gonna lie, my life ain't normal unless it's hectic. So it gotta be like, I have to be doing stuff like this all the time. So it's like I always got something else to do. So I can say that it really does help. And I feel like a lot of people need that type of, they need that in their life.
They need that structure.
Real. But check it out, man. You was talking about this bachelor's degree, right? So, last week we talked about, I know I went off about the bachelor's degree not being worth the shit like it was back in the day. What's your opinion on the bachelor's degree and the power it has behind it in this current day?
Bachelor's degree is a piece of crap. And in real reality, just give me this candy. That's the address. I don't have your number. You can send it to me. But bachelor's degree is a piece of crap unless you know how to work it. Okay, because like the degree I have, which a lot of athletes have, can I get an amen? An interdisciplinary degree. Now, a lot of people don't understand the interdisciplinary degree because it doesn't have a set amount of certain classes in one degree field, right? So I'm like this. This is how I feel right here. If you don't pay attention in that capstone class, you'll never get a job. Because I have a social justice and equity. Because I started out criminal justice at UCF, had my little mishap at UCF, and ended up having to transfer. So I transferred, and I ended up basically having to do interdisciplinary because they didn't have criminal justice. They only had criminology, and I was not going to do criminology. That's right there meant for you to fail. I don't care what nobody say. Like, people gotta really like criminology to do that as a career. But the interdisciplinary degree is like one of the biggest hoaxes in the world. If you hear me, don't get one. Take that extra semester and get a real degree. Because I literally had one of my employers tell me, "Oh, you can't have this case management job because you don't have a real degree." I said, "Huh? The fuck you mean I don't have a real degree?" So I'm looking at my baby. Well, daddy, what's your daddy? Tell your uncle, hey, uncle.
Hi. What up, DJ Bad?
What skeleton?
All right, I love you. Take your candy with you and go. Get your shoes and all that stuff. But anyways, I had the interdisciplinary degree, and thank God I listened in the capstone class because the teacher was just like, "Listen, your degree is better than anybody else's degree because you put two specialties together to make one." Now, until I actually sat there and explained that to one of my employers, that's when I actually finally got a real good job that pays you good money. They give you raises. They help you get advancement in the company. Like they want you to advance in the company somewhere. They don't care. They want you supervising. They want you doing something like learn everything that you can learn, and they advance you and they give you raises every year. So I literally sat there in an interview and I explained my degree to them, and they was like, "Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. You know this side of this and you know that side of this," and it was just like bogus to me. But I was like, "Hey, listen, I need this job, so I'm gonna get it." Best decision I ever made in my life because now I'm working at a job that I like. I drive around for 6 hours out of the day, passing out medication. I literally drive around about an hour and a half a day, passing out medication, but I document for 6 hours. So I do like case management work, and that's the same thing that my old job was telling me. I don't have a real degree and I can't do it, you know? So it's like, with your bachelor's degree, if you know how to work it and you know how to work an interview, they'll hire you. But a lot of stuff, a lot of companies and a lot of people, they want masters. I need a master's, I need a master's. But once you grandfathered in, they don't bother you. They'll let you do your job and they'll let you teach other people. But the problem with that too is the people with the masters don't get paid the money.
They don't.
They're gonna flip you out of yours with your bachelor's degree. Unless you're a nurse.
That's a good point, right? Like me and Mo, we got masters, right? You nailed it right in the head. You want to start from the bottom with your bachelor's degree. Start from the bottom of the company, work your way up, because like you said, they rather bring someone up from the bottom that got something, like at least got a bachelor's degree, rank you up, versus you just go ahead and get in that master's and trying to learn a high level position off the rip. You know what I'm saying? They rather have them folks with them, working from the bottom. Like right now, I work at Staples or corporate, sales. I got people I work with, we making 45, all of us. Some people didn't even go to college, and they getting big manager jobs in the corporate office and all that type of stuff. Like, it's crazy.
They grandfathered in. That's like my aunt. My aunt, she worked at Disney World for so long. Like, she had been at Disney World since she was 17 years old. She was the only one. She don't have no degree, just a high school diploma. And she was working at Disney World in the finance department, hiring everybody, teaching them how to do stuff. And she just was grandfathered in, but everybody that was getting hired in was masters. So if you know anybody that like worked at Disney World, you would notice that a lot of the people who were grandfathered in are getting pushed out by those masters people. And it's like, they're like, oh, well, finding something to fire you about, or finding some reason why you can't work here anymore, And that's another thing too, like with this pandemic stuff, like COVID. My job told us we had to get the vaccination or we go on basically administrative leave with no pay after November 1st. So like you kind of feel pressured to do it because once you start working for a company and you like the company and you're kind of comfortable with your job and stuff like that and your bosses and all that stuff, you'd be like, nah, I don't really want to leave, so I'm going to just go, like, kind of pressured to get the vaccination. So my dumb self, knowing I'm allergic to life itself, got the vaccination, boom, broke out. 2 weeks later, hives everywhere. I'm exempt from taking the vaccination. I can't even get it because the nurse told me that if I got the second part of the vaccination, that I'm going to die. She said, your throat won't be closed the next one you get. So I was just like, it's like you're pressuring me to get stuff, but you're not asking me, like, yeah, you're giving us a choice to give you medical documentation about our, like, to get us out of it, or like religious documentation, like, okay, they got soap in the back. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I was like, no, I feel like it's messed up that they forcing people to do this just to keep a job, but they're begging people to work.
Yeah.
Ain't that weird?
Yeah.
That's the weird part. Like, you begging me to work, but, like, ain't nobody trying to work. People want, let me go get this, let me get this unemployment. Let me get this unemployment and these thousands of dollars in food stamps, and I'll be all right. Yeah.
Sitting at the crib.
And then they're giving out, like in Florida, I don't know if they do it in y'all states, but in Florida, they're giving out vouchers for everybody to live. Like Section 8 vouchers.
Dang.
Everybody getting Section 8 vouchers. All the homeless people got Section 8 vouchers. People that's been homeless their whole life, And it's like, why would they want to work? What would be the reason for them to go to work? Like, you're going to pay for me to live in this apartment, pay my lights, and I don't have a water bill. You're going to pay for me to live here for a whole year, and you want me to go to work? Are you crazy? And I got to get a vaccination to go to work? Okay, I'm good.
What it is, that's the landscape. That's what it is in the world, man, especially in the States. Like I said, the coach I coach with in Connecticut, he owns 3 gas stations. he lose workers every day because shoot, they either get fired or they quit and they just go on unemployment. They don't even worry about working. So it's so hard to hire people because, like she said, boom, why I gotta work? Why not be on unemployment? You know what I'm saying? Gas is getting so.
Everybody else.
Like gas is getting high. He told me because he's in the gas industry.
You know what? Gas went down 4 cents here. I'm feeling kind of rich right now.
Wow. He said, check this out. There's another side story, right? So he said gas is going up because there's so many like drivers that drive the gas tank. They said, bro, why do I gotta drive a moving bomb when I could just take unemployment and chill the crib and not drive a moving bomb?
That part.
True.
That part. Because, and then on top of that, when it's like people like trying, like even with politics, like I don't like talking about politics because I'm not a political person. I don't give a damn. I vote for who I vote for and that's it. But that's just like people, Donald Trump is doing better than this guy and blah, blah, blah. You say that, but Donald Trump put us into trillions of dollars of debt. So how do you expect this president to bring us up out of it? You just want him to like magically bring us up out of it. But it's like that. Every 8 years, with a president, you either gonna go into a recession or the world gonna come, the cost of living is gonna get higher. Every time. It never fails. Every time a president comes in or out of the office, 4 to 8 years, however many, you're gonna go in a recession or you're gonna go into higher cost of living. When you put a country into debt like that and you expect the person that's behind them to pick it up, it's like, okay, it's your fault that this happened. Not really. It's not your fault. It's the person before you fault. What are you going to do to fix it is what they should be asking.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting on the recession so I can buy me a house. Go on recess. Recess.
I feel that.
Recess, baby.
Golly.
Go ahead.
Shoot, I needed one before I bought mine, man. Shoot. They said they built this house.
Fast,
hey, Mo, check this out. They built my house for $150. Guess how much we paid for this thing?
How much?
Like $230.
That's not bad though for the area y'all in.
Yeah, it's not bad for the area, but like I said, like this was built like in 2010. Like during the recession, like you said, like the last recession we had with Obama when he first came in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This house wasn't built, but it was like worth like $150. It's an old house, but it's like worth like $150 back in that day. And then 10 years down the road, boom, it's been worth $230.
Yeah, it was probably worth less than that if it was back then because they have some houses like I swear to God about what. It had to be like 4 years ago. I was about to buy a house, and the house was like 1,500 square feet, sitting on a half an acre. Brand new, like everything around it, but it was built in like 2007 or something like that. The lady had basically got the house down to $119,000 for us. It was originally on the market for $138,000.
Damn.
She got it down to $119,000. I didn't buy the house because we had some, me and the person buying the house, we had some technical difficulties, put it like that. But it was like, like $119,000 for a house on a conventional loan, you putting $900 down on the house. Like, where you go wrong? I mean, you can always use that as some type of something,
That's
$119,000 is a lot of money, but you can pay it off way quicker than you can pay $230 off.
Bro, check it out though. If you buy a house, you buy a house back then, 119, 10 years down the road, that's up $100,000. That's $100,000 in your pocket. You up $100,000.
That's $100,000.
That's crazy.
That's $100,000. It's $100,000 in your pocket. Like you chilling on $100,000. You just gotta know when to buy and when to sell. People do that junk for a living though. Our cousin used to do that.
Which one?
Felicia used to do that. Felicia and Pedro, they used to flip houses. Like they literally used to go fix them up and flip them. And that was when the recession had hit. They was making money off that junk, and then it got like this.
It's crazy.
Ain't nobody
now.
finna buy no $230,000 house. I'm good.
Crazy now, bro.
Man, that jump ridiculous.
Especially up
Because
New
I
England.
can't fix it for $400.
Hey, I know one thing when it comes to land, and shoot, Mo, I know you own some land, right, from your granddad's, right? You still own some land out there in Florida, right?
In Puerto Rico. I got some in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico,
Puerto
shoot.
Rico.
Yeah.
You got land in Puerto Rico.
Actually, we sold.
Put something on top of that. I know. Look, you gotta go build something on there. And
We
then
sold
turn it
that land in Florida.
For real?
That's how they're making their money right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're building houses and
But
duplexes and Airbnb them out. They ain't even living in them.
Yeah, it's we got a farm out there in Puerto Rico, but we did have some land in Florida that we actually just sold, so I ain't got that no more. This alright, shoot, we sold at a good time, you know. Looking to buy some more. I'm looking to buy some in Georgia, to be honest with you. It's cheap in Georgia.
That's what it is right there. If you can buy some land and find somebody that knows how to like build it, you can get it for the low. Like you can build all that stuff for dirt, like literally. Because my brother, he had like this guy who was about to start building houses for him, like $60,000 to build the whole house. You know, so it's like I'm paying you $230,000 for this house, but you're building it for $60,000. You know. And that's where the construction people, they get smart. They sell their stuff to the bankers so that they can get more money out of it, material, you know?
Yeah.
It's a way to get it.
Yeah, because up here, just quick fun fact. Up in Connecticut, New England, you know, it's old state, it's real dense, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people here, the land up here is expensive, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you got old cities like New York, Boston, all that stuff's congested. Everything. Someone owns something. You know, someone owns something when it comes to land. But in the South, what people don't realize in the South, bruh, is that everything's spread out. Florida, you know, Orlando, you know, big city. Miami's big city. Jacksonville, Tampa, but them things are spread out, bruh. Between all that, it's country, right? Yeah. Lands for free. Same thing with Texas. You got Austin, Houston, Dallas, all that. All that stuff is spread out down south. If you start buying land now, because those states are developing fast.
And that's why people, see, you ain't been here in a minute.
Yeah.
That's what people are doing now. Like they're starting to realize like it's so much space here because people in the country don't even want to live right up on top of nobody. Nah. They want to be like, let me move far away. Like you live in Kentucky, so you kind of know how it is. But they don't want to be on top of nobody in Florida, so it's kind of like everybody kind of spaced out a little bit, got a little bit of land on the houses and stuff. But right now what they're doing, because the rent is so damn high, you can't even get a 1-bedroom for under $1,200. That's 1 bedroom. That's in an apartment complex. $1,200. You get a 3-bedroom, you dipping in your pocket $1,600, $1,700. Sometimes $2,000 and $3,000. So what they're doing is popping up apartments. I swear to God, within the last 6 months, they done popped up at least 12 apartment complexes around the area that I live in. So I'm like, what are they doing with all these apartments? Kind of why they put they live in.
And that's Fort Myers, like you said, that's kind of like more secluded, smaller country Florida.
Yeah, it's a little small town.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. But shoot, it is like down the line, I want to buy some land down south because, like I said, up here it's expensive, and like I said, Florida's growing every day. People move down here, boom, flowing. Every single year, the population gets higher and higher and higher. So eventually, Orlando's gonna grow bigger and it's gonna absorb some of them small towns like Christmas, all them small little, you know, sticks places around Orlando. It's gonna get absorbed. It's gonna be, you know, turned into, you know, suburbs, businesses, all that stuff, you know, 10, 15 years down the road, and you own some of that land, and you have some guys trying to build some stuff, trying to, hey, you know, we want to buy this land. Shoot, hey, how much you trying to pay though? I know you want to build a business now. You want to build a complex out here, right? How much you trying to pay for that land? So that could be a future investment down the road, you know what I'm saying, to get some quick cash down the line. Shoot. Hey.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But Trina, shoot, we want to thank you for coming on, man. You got a lot of good stuff out of you. What's it called? I'm going to see you soon.
For sure.
May we finna hit the islands up vacation. All right, we'll see. I got to buy the tickets.
I gotta buy mine too, but I don't know. I gotta wait till I get my dang schedule, but I'm still gonna buy them regardless. Like whenever I get my school schedule, because I graduate in June, so it's turn up time.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to graduate.
Got to.
So I don't know what my classes is gonna be, but I'm still going. They don't tell me what to do. They ain't my daddy. My daddy did.
So Trina, we're gonna let you get going, man. You can go ahead and log off. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate your time. You know, love
so
you.
We appreciate you.
Stop being a pain in the ass.
We want to appreciate you guys for tuning in and checking us out today. You know, episode 5. We had special guest Trina in today. She was a thrower for UCF and also Western Kentucky. And we got to hear the aspects from a female athlete. You know, we got to hear from a female athlete. You got to see it from her perspective and stuff like that. You know, we love to get some more female athletes out here, get them on the podcast, because that's a perspective we can't give you guys. You know, we're both male athletes, so to get that female perspective today, you know, that was a blessing, and we do thank her for that today. Listen to us, tune in to us, share us. You know, we still here. Episode 5. We going strong, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Bless y'all. Hope you have a blessed week. You know, we out. Love you.
Deuces.